he said himself he had to be his biggest of all time. He had to be bigger than every Thor role previously because he had to portray a guy who is 6'7" and much. What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about the resurrection of the Sauce Fiend himself. It is none other than Chris Hemsworth in peak form. The Sauce Fiend back at it, back at it again. This is in the More Plates, More Dates subreddit. Of course, when you see a title like this, where the fuck else do you think you would find this thread? So anyways, fucking no dude, big delt sauna guy. That is indeed what I'd probably say. Dice to the socks, indeed he is. I think people are ignoring the obvious. Thor isn't juicy. He's just focusing 110% of his muscle protein synthesis to his upper body. Spread that mass evenly around his body, and he's within the natty limits. Very happy face. Peel it of his fucking tree. Yeah, it's all the 15-pound dumbbell goblet squats, as you know. So, it's like every fucking saying is here. That's funny. So, anyways, I got, tagged by a lot of people in this picture, and he's looking great. This is apparently the end of filming. So this is on his Instagram. That's a wrap on Thor Love and Thunder. It's also National Don't Flex Day. Yeah, so I thought this super relaxed photo would be appropriate. The film is gonna be batshit crazy, off the wall funny, and might also pull a heartstring or two. Lots of love, lots of thunder. Thank you to all the cast and crew who made this another incredible Marvel journey. Buckle in, get ready, and see you in the cinemas. And thank you, special shout out to Trenbologna. So anyways, congrats, my brother, says The Rock. Congrats, brother, says Jeremy Renner. I reckon your arm's the size of my thighs, says Otis. All right, so anyways, look at all the fucking blue checks, bro. Holy. Inundated with blue checks. So this guy, he's playing the, one of the most jacked superheroes historically in, I think, any film that has had a superhero in it within, the past couple decades. Like, Thor is probably one of the guys who is best represented by the actor, like, in a way that is at least somewhat close to the comics, Like, of course, nobody's gonna live up to the fucking comics. You have guys who are looking like, like Tobey Maguire playing Spider-Man. Like, he looks, like, great as a Spider-Man, but, like, his physique does not reflect necessarily Spider-Man. Ben Affleck playing Batman, these guys, I'm not saying they're not good actors, like, they're fucking great. I'm just saying that their physiques do not necessarily reflect the comics, and of course, how could you expect them to? You need literally Jay Cutler's genetics with grams of gear and fucking years of training, and only caring about training and eating and gear in order to look like the actual comics. So, Thor definitely has a good hybrid of actually acting, having a, life, balancing a family life, and achieving like nearly peak like Sauce Fiend status. So a lot of Twitter threads were made, a lot of news articles off this picture, of course. So here we go, Marvel Studios via Chris Hemsworth on Instagram. I get tagged. What's up guys, Derek? Thor found Hulk Hogan sauce. So anyway, yeah, there's like IGN. I used to watch video game reviews by this company. It's funny to see me tagged in like their fucking threads now. Look at all of that chicken, broccoli, and rice. I agree. That is a lot of chicken, broccoli, and rice. So anyways, this is like his peak condition. Like, this is him presumably somewhat around the time frame of filming for the Hulk Hogan biopic, I think it was called. So anyways, has he achieved, we talked about last year how he said himself he had to be his biggest of all time. He had to be bigger than every Thor role previously because he had to portray a guy who is 6'7" and much heavier than him, much bigger overall human, and is, literally known as a jack guy. Now, obviously, Thor is also a fucking jack guy too, so it's kind of like intersects perfectly where if you're filming for both around the same time, you have your max exposure to drugs, and you can kind of get the two birds with one stone approach done, and you don't have to, blast all fucking year, hopefully. I assume he's been blasting for a while though, because he's been preparing for this role and has to sustain this condition for a reasonably long period of time. He's looked like pretty fucking close to this for the past however many months. Striking distance, you might even say. So anyways, he is, I don't know where he's at with the Hulk thing, but I wanted to see, how close is he really? Because this is kind of, I would say he did a good job here playing Thor. Like, he looks as good, if not better than every performance I've seen. Granted, this is a, you know, a still shot, could be edited for all we know. He could have the most massive pump of all time here. There's a million different variables, but, you know, in general, I would say, you know, maybe the first movie, he had like probably what I thought was the most mass overall. Not the most cut he had ever been, but probably the most overall like intramuscular fullness looking, which, you know, looked probably like the best route to go for Thor rather than being like a shredded fucking, you know, trying to be single digit body fat percentage. If you were closer to 10%, but you had like, you know, more size on your frame, I think that would portray the character better, being like a hulking fucking, you know, big, dominating character, you know, that is supposed to be just like large and fucking in charge. And here he has a good hybrid of the two, it looks like. Granted, I can't see how lean he is without the shirt off, but recent shirtless pics, he's looked pretty fucking solid. Anyways, Hulk Hogan. This is what he looked like when he was young. It's funny because a lot of people said in the first Hulk Hogan video that there's no way Chris is going to be able to portray it because Hulk Hogan's fucking massive and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I've seen some pictures of Hulk where he looks like, you know, very, very big. But then most of the pictures I see, especially in his heyday, like this is not hard to emulate, bro. This is not, you know, that problematic for him to try and replicate, in my opinion. If you're playing like the Ultimate Warrior or some shit, maybe you have your work cut out for you a bit more. But when you're playing Hulk Hogan, I don't know, dude. Like, granted, there are some shots where he is a bit better, but I mean, in general, I think Chris is pretty much there. You know, again, though, the thing that everyone is, you know, mainly talking about is the overall size of the guy is going to be, he would be dwarfed by Hulk Hogan in real life. So how would a guy who's, I don't know, what's Chris, like 6'3" or something, and Hogan is like 6'7" or something, and, you know, probably way heavier and obviously a more dominating presence overall because he's just way larger than all the fucking actors that Chris would be, you know, playing in the movie alongside. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are overlooking the fact, though, that they're very capable of making people look bigger in height than... Like, it's not as problematic. Trying to make a guy look more jacked, I feel like, is harder than it is to make a guy look taller because, you know, how many times have we seen Tom Cruise in movies where they literally, like, manipulate the entire movie and the entire cast based around his height to make him not look so short relative to people, because it's not like he is, you know, a towering human, but he plays these roles that, you know, in general are supposed to be so dominantly, like, you know, masculine over everyone. And I guess, you know, with that, you would, sometimes it's odd for, you know, the main star, the protagonist, to be shorter than the, you know, the chick that he's like doing, you know, missions alongside or something. So they do a lot of manipulation in the movies to help Cruise, you know, make sure he's like significantly taller than most people, as far as I know. So, and that's for the Tom Cruise movies. I might have just said Hemsworth by accident, but that's the Tom Cruise movies, they do that. So with Hemsworth, it's kind of interesting because he's pretty fucking tall as is, but to play Hogan at 6'7", you know, there's probably gonna have to be some Cruise-like fuckery in order to do that. And I think that will be simple enough. I don't think they're gonna have a hard time doing that. And then reflecting the actual proportions, looking as big as Hogan, not just like the height thing, I don't think is gonna be an issue, but looking like him from a muscularity standpoint, I don't think that's gonna be an issue, dude. Like, when I see these shots, I'm not, you know, there's some shots where he looks better than others. There are some that are pretty manipulated. There's some where he's like very old and some where he's very young. But in general, the average, the sweeping average of him, even when he's in his career, you know, he's like, he has a higher body fat percentage than Chris Hemsworth. Even though his sheer actual measurements are probably much larger than Chris in terms of arm size and whatnot, the actual arms themselves don't necessarily look significantly bigger to a point where you would not think that Chris could come in here and pull it off, in my opinion. So do I think he's there? Do I think he made it where he needed to be? Yeah, I do. You know, is this Hemsworth here? Is this photoshopped? I don't fucking know. I guess it probably is. So I don't know, but like, I think he is definitely where he needs to be honest. Like, this is pretty solid, you know, and I think he's doing Hulk Hogan favor, to be honest, by, you know, I don't know how cut up he's going to come in, but if he comes up as cut up as he is in general, like, that's almost like reflecting potentially even better on Hogan's physique, because I have not seen Hogan really single digits or near single digits, like, really ever, to be honest. Like, he's pretty big and pretty fucking vascular, but it's not like he's ever shredded necessarily. So I guess that actually gives Chris a lot of leeway too, because if he wants to gain more size theoretically, he could get away with adding some more fluff weight and, you know, beefing up his measurements a bit in order to push the size game a little bit more. You know, he's going to get some shit weight with some good weight, but in general, he's going to be just accruing more mass, getting to this, you know, Hulk Hogan-esque body fat percentage, body composition. So, do I think he's there? Yeah. Do I think there's going to be height fuckery potentially to make him look as tall as Hogan in order to, you know, portray it well? You know, probably. So, if that is indeed done well, I think he's pretty spot on, dude. You know, at first I was thinking like, oh, this guy's going to have to sauce his brains out like more than he's ever done before. But no, like, I think he is, like, he definitely pushed it, you know, for this movie. Like, there's no doubt about it that the guy blasted, in my opinion. But, yeah, I don't think he has to push it too much harder than this. I think he's in a pretty fucking good spot. I think he looks awesome. I don't know exactly what the timeline is for the Hogan movie and what the filming schedule is, but I think Hemsworth's spot on, and I think he will portray it very well, you know? So I guess we shall see how it goes. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Of course, depends if there's leg shots in the movie, of course, because I don't know what Hogan's legs are like compared to Hemsworth's, but if, you know, Hogan's are much better than Hemsworth's, you know, we might have a fucking problem. According to this post that had fucking 10 million likes and the community up in arms about his calves. So anyways, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, anything in the video description below helps support me. It's much appreciated. Talk to you guys soon.